Well, good morning everybody, and that's farewell to Hope Kiwi Lodge. Beautiful place to stay. About 6:15 now, so a little later than I like, but man, nobody was stirring inside that hut. I was first up again, so I lay there as long as I possibly could, and then I sort of got up and got moving finally. Yeah, Hurunui number 3 is today's target. We're going to go past Lake Sumner. I think it'll be about 3 or 4 hours and I'll be at the other end of Lake Sumner, and I'm looking forward to that because when you pop out at that top end, you get some quite nice views. So we'll get through to there and target hut today, Hurunui number 3, but it could be 10, 11 hours, so I still won't get there till late afternoon. But let's hit this trail. I'll spin the camera around, some beautiful view down the valley at the moment, some nice white cloud over that mountain range, and we'll get going. See ya. So that's just lovely, the way that white cloud's just sitting above that mountain range. So let's get walking, and that's my view for a while. Beautiful. Well, that's where we're going. If we pan around here, that's the valley we've come from. So Hope Kiwi Lodge is down here somewhere. Yeah, another absolutely gorgeous bushwalk section. There's been some lovely bush on this section of trail, real standout for me. Well, I don't know how accurate this sign is because it's sort of just leaning there, but it says Kiwi Saddle, 15 minutes, Lake Marion, half an hour, Lake Sumner Lookout is 1 hour away. We'll see what we find. We'll keep on heading down here. And there's been a lot of trees down over the track on this section. Well, that was a solid little climb. So I assume we're near the Kiwi Saddle now. But that's us. We're heading initially for Hurunui hut, and then we go to Hurunui number 3 huts at today's target. But there's 2 other huts here, Gabriel hut and Jolly Brook hut. That's what I said yesterday when I was at that junction with the Windy Point. There seems to be lots of little trails here, and this is an area I wouldn't really have thought about exploring. After Richmond Ranges and Nelson Lakes, you sort of don't think about this too much, but definitely worth having a look at. Anyway, Lake Sumner Outlet, that's not where we go. We're going up to the inlet at the other end. So that's the walk to the other huts. We're going to push on down through here. See ya. We are getting glimpses of Lake Sumner. If I zoom in here, you might be able to see it through the trees, but it's pretty hard to get it on camera. There it is there. Still getting spoiled on this trail, another swing bridge. So there's actually a bit of a, I guess you could say, a point that goes out into Lake Sumner. And we're just sort of in that point now. So this river flows down into Lake Sumner, and we'll go through another section of bush over here, and then Lake Sumner will appear. Well, there we go. Beautiful Lake Sumner. And a nice view up through this valley on the other side. Well, I've got no idea what's going on here, but if any of the viewers know and can tell me, let me know. And more trees over the trail, and possibly a bit of bush bashing on the other side to find the trail again. That's a big tree over the track. The advantage of being a short ass, I can just walk straight under it. You can see the flat plain out there through the trees, but we're actually hiking up through the trees, and you've really got to keep your eye open here for the little orange markers. So there's another one just through here on one of these trees here. You can see the orange marker, but if you look on the ground, there's no real defined trail because it's just the sort of terrain it is. It's very easy to get yourself off trail in here. Well, we've just come out of the bush there, a few cattle and that around. Not many markers. I can just see something actually just in this brush over here. There's a bit of an orange marker. Where is it? This one over here. You can see it leaning on its side there. And further up here I can see a bit of a sign right up the end of these trees here. So I'll go up and see what that says. Well, we hang a left and we can go up to Hurunui hut. I assume this is the hut. I'll try and zoom in on it. I can see a bit of a roof or something just up there in the middle of my screen. So I'd say that's the hut there. But a lot of people saying it's far more pleasant and a nicer walk to go down to this Macmillan stream and keep going and then find your way back up to the Te Araroa trail and get up to Hurunui hut number 2. I'll have a little think about it. Yeah, not hard to see the swing bridge. That's where we're heading and going over there. Well, it didn't take me long to decide. I thought, nah, I'm sticking to the original trail. That's what I came here to do, and I just took a photo of the sign on Lake Station, and they're specifically saying, you know, stick to the tracks, don't use our station to sort of take a shortcut, cut across to hut number 3. So, yeah, we'll keep going. I'm glad I made the decision I did. Don't want to upset these landowners because they could take away access across here if they really wanted to. Well, it's a steep one to get up on this bridge. And how good is this? Look at that river. Let's get going, let's get to Hurunui hut. Yeah, well, that was a wobbly bridge. Wobbled a lot sideways, that one. Well, here we are, Hurunui hut. And this looks nice. Look at that nice deck out the front. We'll go in and check it out. So absolutely beautiful little hut inside. Well, that was Hurunui hut. Beautiful hut, sleeps 15. Bit of a shame it's right in the middle of my day actually. Could have sat on that deck in the sun and relaxed, but I have heard Hurunui number 3 where we're heading is pretty nice as well. There could be a temptation if I got there in good time to push on. There's a hut pretty close after that one and then a bivvy as well. The bivvy sleeps 2 people and I just looked in that hut book and there's another couple who are aiming for that bivvy already. They left from this hut, so they got a 5-hour head start. And there was no toilet and no water there. And I'm like, oh, I'd end up in my tent at a campsite with no toilet and no water and potentially bad weather tomorrow. So yeah, that option's probably not going to be one I'm going to take. Even the little hut after that's only 4-bedder. But we'll get into Hurunui number 3. We'll have a look there and see what it's like, and then we'll make a decision from there. But this hut here, trail time said 6 hours. I did that in 5 hours, and I stopped and talked to a lovely lady from Canada for quite a while. She was a northbounder. So yeah, seemed to be doing pretty good time compared to the dock times on this section so far. But it's 4 to 5 hours now for me to get from Hurunui to Hurunui number 3. So we'll see how that goes. Apparently there's lots of trees down over this section of the trail and that, so that might really hold things up a little bit. Anyway, we'll get walking and I'll show you what it's like. See ya. So on the face of it, this just looks like any other waterfall, but this is actually thermal. This wood is warm. And apparently there's a bit of a hot pool up here. We'll see if we can find it. Some people go to bathe in it, but they don't last long because of the sand flies apparently. Well, here it is, the famous hot pools. So a lot of people will strip off and jump in here. I can't really, it's definitely got that smell. If anybody's been to Rotorua, it's got a distinct smell about it. But I'm going to push on. I want to get to this next hut. Don't really feel like a bath. So you can clearly see the track marker, but I've worked my way up there and that track just disappears into nothing. There's another marker further up, and this is what I've been reading about, this section of trail. That people are just bush bashing, just getting completely lost, and then finally just get sick of it and walk up the valley there, which the landowner sort of doesn't want you to. But I'm just going to go down here and we'll pop onto that riverbed and see if there's another way quickly back onto the track, because I just can't find a way through up there. Well, we're back out on the riverbed now, just up in some sort of tussocky stuff, but once I got to those hot pools, you know, people were saying how rough this track was and there was a lot of bush bashing and stuff. It was a cruisy track up to those hot pools. But as soon as you went past the hot pools, far out, terrible track marking. I followed some track markers up the hill and then the track just went nowhere. So I came back down, retraced my steps, find the marker, tried 3 times. Just couldn't find a way through. And it looked like maybe it's a unmaintained trail. And the TA wanted us to drop down into the riverbed for 20 or 30 metres and then there'd be a side lane back up into the bush. And I thought I saw it, but I just had to bush bash again. And eventually I did find the trail, and I'm trying to do the right thing. You know, there's signs from the landowner asking you to stick to the trail, not walking around on their private land, but far out. If you're making a legitimate effort and you can't find the trail, I don't really know what they expect people to do, and I sort of understand why people are just getting sick of it and just saying, oh, too bad, I'll just walk down the, you know, where I am, down the river valley. It's definitely a lot easier to take less time, but I'm glad I persevered and I did find the track again eventually and sort of did what we meant to do. But, you know, I don't know if they ask for feedback when you finish the TA, but certainly, yeah, it'll be some of my feedback. That trail section near the hot pool, it needs to be just maintained for the first K on either side of it to keep people on the track and off the landowner's private property if they want to avoid problems in the future. Anyway, that's my whinge. I haven't had a whinge for a while. That's my little whinge. And we're pretty close to the hut now. It might just be a little bit over a K. So I'm expecting the hut's going to appear around that corner eventually. We'll see what it's like when I get there. Hopefully I've got a bed. While I'm out here on this riverbed, I did ping a new weather forecast too, and I did mention today's Tuesday. Tomorrow, before I left when I was in range, weather forecast for tomorrow is really bad. A lot of rain forecast for tomorrow. I don't know if that's changed now we've got closer to the day, but one of the viewers did ask me what I use for my weather while I'm on trail, and I sort of use 3 things. The outdoor pursuit centre, before I went into the Te Araroa Ranges, the gentleman there, he said use the Met Service. There's an app there in New Zealand, and they'll actually give you forest park and national park weather forecasts. So I downloaded that app. When you go on the Te Araroa trail notes, there's a link there you can click, and they use a NIWA forecast. So I normally do both of those and have a bit of a comparison. And both of those sort of said, you know, long-term forecast, bad weather tomorrow. When I'm on trail, obviously I'm not online, so I can't access those. So I use the little Garmin here on the shoulder here, and I get weather forecast just with my subscription. I can ping as many as I want. So I've just pinged one now. I've got a clear sky and I'm in the open, so I can connect to the satellites. The forecast has come through, so we'll have a look when we get to the hut, and that might make a little bit of a decision about what we do tomorrow, just depending if that real bad weather's still forecast to come through. Anyway, so between the Met Service app, NIWA and my Garmin, that's what I'm using for the weather while I'm on trail. Well, we've actually made it already. I can start to see Hurunui number 3 hut coming. And when we left Hope Kiwi Lodge, it was 10-11 hours. So that should have got me here sort of 4:15, 5:15. So it's not quite 3:15. So I sort of done pretty good time, less than those times. And that includes a really long break at Hurunui hut as well. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I was chatting to that Canadian lady on the trail. That would have been a good 15 minutes or so as well. So certainly pretty happy with the times. Hopefully I can get into this hut, and all these other hikers have tried and come the legitimate way and stayed up in the bush line and off the private property as well. Be pretty disappointing if they've all come along the riverbed and overtaken me and snapped up all the beds, but we'll see what it's like when we get in there. Well, there it is, Hurunui number 3. And this is a bit of a dock research station over there with the toilet in behind. So we'll pop inside and we'll see what it looks like. Well, I've grabbed the bunk just down the bottom here, and there's the exit door. So hopefully I can get up quietly in the morning and just sneak out without disturbing everybody if I want to leave earlier, which I normally do. And triple bunks, a long way up to those top ones. A couple of tables here, really nice, little fireplace, and triple bunks up this end. And there's your sort of little kitchen area in here. Water must get collected from outside. So anyway, that's the inside of the hut, and we'll check in again tomorrow.